Hello, Arpit.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Arpit. How are you doing?
Sir, I'm fine. It's the same for you.
Arpit, have you got your dose of vaccination?
Yes, sir. I have vaccinated them.
Which vaccine you took, Arpit?
So I took COVID shield.
Covishield. Now, Arpit, there's a debate going on with respect to Covishield and Covaxin. Are you aware about that debate?
So not entirely, but yes, sir, I'm aware of it regarding their efficacy in the field.
Hmm.
So yes, sir. So there has been debate regarding their efficacy, which one is better against recently Delta variant, and also overall efficacy against the which one has provided long-lasting immunity to the body. This is a debate that I'm aware of, sir.
Okay. Arpit, you are presently serving in the Indian Civil Accounts Service.
Yes, sir.
Tell me something about your job experience so far. What have you learned?
Sir, over the course of my training and in my probation, in Indian Civil Account Service, majorly I have learned about the Indian payment system, accounts in central government payment system, accounting system, budget formulation, and also how the data is recorded. And recently, the how the PFMS is being used for MIS purposes and also for various overarching single financial management system for the country.
Okay. Since you mentioned data, what role data can play in effective planning?
So data can play a very big role in planning because having a data provides us clear cut rational basis for making for formulation of any policy and also identification and evaluating of the current policies that are undergoing, and they are also provide us various trends and various drawbacks of existing policies going forward and how to plan so that the new policy or the revision of the existing policies can be taken on the basis of rationality and can clear a steer path to move forward.
Arpit, have you heard about dirty data? Have you heard about this term?
Sorry, sir.
Arpit, do you have a social media account or do you use social media?
So very rarely, but not frequently. Yes, sir.
Do you think that civil servants should be given the right to express their opinions on social media platforms or handles outside their official responsibilities?
So they should be given not entirely. There must be some restrictions on civil servants because when we say about social media, it is very difficult to differentiate between an individual opinion or the opinion of a government. Being a civil servant and being a nominee of a central government or governments, it is our responsibility to ensure that our any expression or our views are within our civil conduct rules, and we being a civil servant we are 24 hours on our duty. So sir, it should be on a restricted manner, but there should be some can be some leeway given, but it should not be given freely.
If you have to suggest one step that can be taken to accommodate both these things, what you have just mentioned, what will be that step, Arpit?
So whenever an account is created, it should be written clearly that it is a personal account, not a official views of. It must be clearly written in the bold letters, so that people can identify that it is not a view of the government or it is a view of his personal opinion.
Okay. Arpit, are you aware about the recent amendments made to the civil services rules, pension rules?
So there was an amendment regarding in the case of death or regarding the new pension scheme, the person has a choice in case of death whether he want to avail the benefit under new schemes or the old schemes. Sir.
I want to highlight that part of the new rules that cater to social media use.
Yes, sir. There was an amendment regarding retired officers, especially with the ex-intelligence agencies. If they are they must not disclose any sensitive data, or else their benefit will be withdrawn by the government after some inquiries.
Is your department a critical department under the new rules?
Yes, sir. So Office of CGA is under the critical department because it is handling the payment processing system. Therefore, sir, it is there.
Okay, Arpit, there's an article in the Indian Constitution. That article is Article 19, Clause 2, which places some reasonable restrictions on the use of freedom of speech and expression, and you can cover social media expression also under that category. Apart from this article, is there any other article in the Indian Constitution which regulates social media usage?
Sir, it can be used on the right to life first, because everybody has right to live with dignity and honor. And so that can be taken Article 21, and also Article 24 regarding the Article 25, which also places a reasonable restriction with this to espouse one's own religious views, and it can be taken from there also. And also for fundamental duties of under Article 33 for the militaries or police, that can be restricted and regulated by the government. So
Okay.
I'm aware of these things.
Okay, good. Arpit, are you aware about the recent controversy which happened just few days back between Twitter and government?
Yes,
What
sir.
are your views on that controversy?
Sir, I view that if a law is passed by the government of India, any enterprise working in must follow them. If they have any argument or if they have any problem with it, they can either ask the government to change the rule, or they can go to the court and take a suitable measures regarding that. Rather than blatantly violating the rules of the law, it is wrong. They should follow the new IT rules, and they should have appointed all the resident grievance officers. This is my view, sir. So they must have followed the rules, and if any grievance, then they should have approached the courts for further orders.
Are you aware of this news that even the social media handle of the then telecom minister was suspended for some time?
Yes, sir.
If you would have been the telecom minister, the information and broadcasting minister, how would you have reacted if such a thing would have happened with you?
Sir, as a minister, sir, it should be we should be proceeding with more caution. If any account has been suspended, a suitable explanation should have been asked on what basis it has been done, and whether and if the basis is right or wrong, then it must be pursued further. If any rights are violated, then the suitable action against the court can be taken. But the measure taken by not directly confronting with them is not a right choice. So, sir, I would have seen whether the cause was right or wrong, and if it was wrong, then suitable recourse under the existing legal mechanism should be taken.
Okay, Arpit, the questions that he raised on the social media was pertaining to that Twitter should accept the new rules. And on this line of thought, his account got suspended. What are your views now on this issue? The case is very clear in front of you.
Sir, if it is his opinion, he's not opinion, sorry, sir. He's asking them to follow the rules of the law, and it is nothing wrong to express his and is making a statement on Twitter, because it is a social intermediary. It is not the person who is regulating Twitter, is not a person who is regulating the views or opinions of anyone or any person. So if the honorable minister has said they must follow, and it is nothing wrong in that, considering the law, and there is nothing that is damaging or having any violating any rules of US, which was cited that US law of copyright was violated. So there was nothing wrong in that. So, sir, in my view, sir, the honorable minister's statement was not wrong.
Arpit, I was going through your DAF, and your hobby section is quite interesting. You practice meditation. Arpit, are you aware about a particular type of meditation called Vipassana?
Sir, I am aware of it, sir. So Vipassana is a meditation which majorly aims to control the mind by small techniques and ensure we living the present moment and aware of your surroundings completely. So it is a Buddhist techniques which was developed over the course of the years.
It flows from which branch of Buddhism?
Sorry, sir. I'm not aware of the exact.
Okay. Now, Arpit, I don't know whether you have taken notice of this or not, but most of the people who practice meditation, they are obsessed with breathing control. And what is the relationship between breathing and meditation?
So, according to me, when a person breathes, we are focusing on a single point of breathing, taking a deep breath and releasing it. So, at the same time, it ensures that our mind is concentrated on only single point of breathing. So, sir, it makes sure that we are focused only on that point of thing. So, sir, breathing is a very simple exercise which makes us to focus easily rather than say focus on your only on your mind, from where the mind can deviate from one place to another. So, sir, I think by breathing, providing a simple exercise, it ensures to bring more focus and more concentration at a single point.
Oh, good. Arpit, is there any relationship between Jaina philosophy and Sankhya philosophy?
So both are logical part of both have one similarity of logic, because one also consider as a part of Samkhya is attainment of the knowledge is the main part, one of the aspect of liberation of soul. In Jainism, having a samyak gyan or right knowledge is also one of the three jewels of the Jainism. So in that part, they both are having, both espouses acquiring of knowledge so as to ensure to reach the path of salvation. So, sir, in that case, there is a relationship between both of them.
Have you heard about the concept of jiva in Jainism?
Yes, sir.
It is one of the fundamental objects or tattvas in Jainism.
Yes, sir.
What is the other one?
So there are out of 9 tattva, or basically jiva jiv tattva, only 2. There are 9 tattva in Jainism, of which one is jiv. So, all the 8 should I tell?
Yes.
Jeev tattva, ajeev tattva, punya tattva, pap tattva, bandh, ashrav, samvar, nirjara, moksha. These are the 9 tattva in Jainism.
The idea of Jainism, do you think that Jainism promotes extremism? Like, say, for example, any ardent Jain would say that you have to be extremely non-violent in your life. Or even the Jaina practice of starving yourself to death. So do you think that Jainism promotes extremism?
Sir, I do not think Jainism promote extremism. Its principles sound like it is an extremist, but it aims at to promote take a step at a single point of time. For example, the rules are different for a layperson, rules are different for the monks, and also regarding the starving to the death, sir, the Santara, sometimes it is misused rather than following the proper rules and regulation. So, sir, it cannot be that Jainism is promoting extremism. It is the wrong interpretation of scriptures by the individuals that further leads to extremism, sir. That is what I can say, sir.
Okay, good. Arpit, I was going through your DAF and I found that you have been house captain in school.
Yes, sir.
And what steps did you take as the house captain? And what lessons did you learn while being the house captain? Answer both of them in one line each.
Sir, the steps I took was to promote, ensure that participation of all the school junior and senior together. And the biggest lesson I learned, that it is very difficult to bring different people together and working together as a team.
Okay. You have also played table tennis.
Yes, sir.
Tell me the difference in the serving techniques of tennis, lawn tennis, and table tennis?
So
Three
first in
important differences.
yes, sir. First in table tennis, the ball should hit on both the court. But in tennis, there is only it should only on the opposite court. And in also in single table tennis, the both side can be used. In any side, the ball can travel. But in lawn tennis, it should go across. And also there is a concept of fault in lawn tennis, which is not there in tennis, in table tennis.
Now, tell me something about when you throw the ball. While serving in tennis, you have to throw the ball up. Same
Yes.
is concept applied in table tennis. What is the difference in this throwing the ball up?
Sir, when a ball is thrown, the it is to provide more momentum in tennis. But while in table tennis, it is to provide more spin or other way around. But but sorry, sir, I'm not able to get the question properly. I'm really very sorry.
Okay, when you toss the ball up in table tennis, you can toss it up to which height?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of the exact height.
Okay. Arpit, whom do you admire as a politician who is presently active in politics?
Currently active, sir.
Yes.
Sir, the Chief Minister of Rajasthan as a politician. So because over a long course of time, still the regarding the admiration that he has still in his constituency, it is way apart in comparison to other politicians.
Tell me one attribute in his personality which you do not like.
Sir, whenever the biggest fault I can say would be to take not prioritizing, because sometimes too many things are being implemented at the same time without focusing on a single thing, as a result of which the result becomes haywire more or less rather than achieving a certain objective.
Okay, thank you.
Arpit,
Yes, sir.
you were born in Ahmedabad, but currently you are staying in Rajasthan, right?
So I was only born in Sabarmati. Otherwise, sir, my upbringing and entire my father's stay, it is entirely in Rajasthan only, in Pali district.
Yeah, Sabarmati. So, what is that? Sabarmati So.
So Sabarmati Sub Post Office, SO.
Okay. Pali in Rajasthan. What is famous about Pali? What is Pali famous for?
So one, the Pali is famous for its sweet name Gulab Halwa. Second, in Pali district there is Sojat city, which is famous for its Mehndi. And also in Pali there are various temples such as Ranakpur temple, and also some part of Ranthambore wildlife sanctuary is also there in Rajasthan. And also apart from there is the Javai Dam, which is also famous for Javai safari for the leopards. So these are the famous spots in Pali.
Okay, Arpit, what is the meaning of the name Arpit?
Sir, in simple terms, it means to dedicate oneself.
Okay. And what have you dedicated your life to?
So most of the time, before passing, it was my study. It was dedicated to my studies, and currently I am I'm dedicating myself for the civil services. Sir.
Okay, but then after you finished you done your CA, you were a ranker, 39th rank holder in India, and after that you joined the Indian civil services, Indian Civil Account Services. So why do you want now to change over to from here again to Indian Administrative Services. I think your calling should have been this only.
Sir, this is only majorly for the two reasons. First, being in administrative service provide more diversity of opportunities rather than being just restricted to the finance side of the finance side. And also, the second, it provides more opportunity to being directly part of implementation and working on ground, which is restricted in civil account services. So because of these primarily two reasons, I want to opt for the Indian Administrative Service.
Okay, where did you do your schooling from, Marcus?
Sir, I did my schooling from St. Paul's School, Pali, Rajasthan.
From Pali. Okay. Now, as a house captain, you were the house captain of your school, right? You
Yes.
also were you also playing table tennis at the state level in school. Now, what are the leadership lessons that you learned that at the school level that you wish to incorporate now in the civil services as and when you join the civil services?
So the first is to have patience. It is imperative to listen to everyone. Second is when you have to take a decision, you should remain firm on it. You should not be cowed down by all the other persons when the things go wrong. And you should be able to motivate your team on regular basis, because there are many types of people. Sometimes there are juniors, sometimes there are seniors. So for juniors, they should be handled with more care and love, so that they are with our side. And for senior, they must be provided proper explanation, so that their team remains together. So these are the three qualities that I really think are more important, and these are lessons that I've learned. So that, because having patience and these skills ensures that they have also trust on me, rather than I am having trust on them, sir. So that is the biggest thing that I've done, sir.
Okay, good. You also said breathing meditation is a part of the focused meditation, right? Now, breathing meditation or focused meditation is only one part of meditation. There are many other parts. There are different types of meditation. Can you tell me at least 5 of the different types of meditation that are there?
So Vipassana meditation, mindfulness meditation, one is focused meditation, and there is, sorry sir, I'm aware of only these three types. So there are 9 types of meditation provided by Ashtanga Yoga. Sir, I'm sorry, I'm not able to recall the exact name. Sorry, sir.
Okay, good. You also are fond of reading Jain literature, you said.
Yes, sir.
Now, are you doing it as a hobby or are you doing it for the sake of self-improvement?
So both. Sometimes it initially began as a hobby, reading, having more interest developed, and over the course of time, it has become a very good opportunity to improve myself also, because it has taught me valuable life lessons in my life, and it also helped me during my tough times, and also it helps me to live my life peacefully and smoothly, sir. So I will say it is a both hobby as well as self improvement, sir.
Yeah, meditation in any case brings you a sense of calm and inner harmony. Now, overall, the purpose of which is to give you happiness. What has given you the maximum happiness in your short life till now, till date?
Sir, I find happiness in each and everything, sir. Actually, sir. So, sir, having a specific moment, one of my best moment was to clear my chartered accountancy with all India rank. That was one of my best moment. Apart from that, sir, I'm currently content, and I'm really very much happy with everything right now, sir.
Okay, and what is the way you look at giving back to society in terms of happiness?
Sir, I want to spread also the positivity and calmness, because in this current world where there is always an uncertainty and there is unhappiness everywhere. So one of my biggest I want to contribute that people must stay happy and they must live my life, because the life is very much short, and but still we must be positive and looking forward, and we must face all the problems, challenges and happiness together, so that we can become at least we are happy, because otherwise there are thousands of reasons to become unhappy.
Okay, good. Now that you are reading Jain literature, have you also do you also read other literature from other religions to get an overall view of happiness and harmony, or only Jain literature?
Sir, currently I have read only those Jain literature, but sir, I am planning to read that also, because some parts are left out. Once I complete it, sir, I will be reading them also, sir.
Okay, now that you are reading Jain literature, tell me what are the various canons of Jaini literature?
Sir, canons are generally divided into two types. The main canons are 12 Ang Sutras of Jainism, of which 12 named Drashtivad is not available right now. So currently there are 11 main books of Jainism, which are known as Ang Sutras. Apart from that, there are some excerpts remaining from the 12th Drashtivad, which is divided into 12 Upang Sutras, which are also which are some accepted by some or not accepted by all. Apart from there are some Chet Sutras and Mool Sutras, which are 4 and 4 in numbers. But also there is a differentiation between among different sects. For example, Sthanak Vas is considered 32 and Murti Pujak is considered 45. So there are different, but these 23s are common in all of them, sir.
Good. Thank you very much.
Arpit.
Yes, sir.
Arpit, as you are fond of reading Jain literatures, I would like to ask you, what is that one aspect of Jainism that you do not admire and you would like to change that?
Sir, I don't like too much of a karma philosophy of Jainism, because there is karma in each and everything that they get attached to the soul. Sir, I'm not able to rationally understand these things, because these things is the thing that we cannot rationally argue with. So sometimes we will have to just accept it as it is. So sir, this part I don't like it too much, because I like to understand things and experience them, so that validate them whether they are right or wrong. So sometimes there are too many assumptions there, which I don't like it, sir.
Arpit, what role do religion play in a person's life?
Sir, I think the biggest reason is that they teach us how to live our life. If we live them accordingly, because no every religion teaches us to be a good person, every religion teaches how to speak, and every religion make us community more stronger and togetherness, and they teach us to be honest and to move forward in our life, whether any problem is there or not. So a religion play a very big role in an individual's life. It also shapes an individual's thoughts and opinions.
See, Arpit, if all religions advocate the same thing, then why you are not reading the religious books of some other religion? You have not yet read them, although you are saying that you are planning to read. But why not yet?
Sir, because to be honest, sir, because of the availability of time, still because since I have been there, overall course is being studying, but it is not that, sir, I have not read them. I have read some part of Bible also, and some part of Jainism also, and I have argued, but since I have not read them comprehensively, so sir, I cannot say that I have read it completely.
Tell
Only
me
some aspect.
two aspects which are common in Jainism and Christianity.
So the values, the first is to be honest, to be doing the right thing, and all the sins. And the 7 sins, and these are all other aspects are common in Jainism. For example, greediness is covered under lobe in Jainism, and all these are the sins, and the 9. I'm sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall them. So these are common in Jainism and Christianity, sir.
Multiple religions are facing pollution, Arpit. Have you in your vicinity or where you live or in your society observed some kind of pollution in religion, and how negative interpretation of scriptures or dogmas have impacted society in negative way?
Yes, sir. Even in my Jainism, there is even pollution. So because of some not correct interpretation, we are doing wrong thing. For example, Jainism says that there is life in burning of fire or there, but when we go to the temple, the more artis are done only in Jain temples. So it is not a correct interpretation. Whether it is right or wrong, that is a different thing. But so it is not correct interpretation of the things that lead to different opinion. So in my vicinity, I have seen even some Jain monks are not following the rules, because even if I take the example of Santhara, if according to the scripture it is very much restricted, but right now it is liberally used to promote more, or to say that I am more religious. So that is a very wrong and dogmatic interpretation of religion.
Okay. Arpit, you must be aware that India's tax to GDP ratio is quite low.
Yes, sir.
Tell me 3 measures you would take to improve that.
So the first would be the taxing the agricultural income. The second would be to rationalize the tax rate. And number 3 would be the withdrawal of too much exemption that the government is giving right now to the individuals and the other corporations.
Okay, but taxing the agriculture income, is it the right way to do?
Sir, agricultural income, sir, earning above a threshold, they must be taxed, because sometimes there are some large farmers, they are earning crores of rupees, but they cannot be taxed directly because of one of the agricultural provisions. So that is wrong, because otherwise the basic income limit of currently 2.5 lakh, and apart from the 5 lakh rupees. So I think so it is sufficient enough to cover both agricultural income, a small farmer or a big farmer. So I think so. Yes, sir, taxing the agricultural income has to be a way forward, because 50% of population is there. If they are not paying tax, it becomes unnecessarily burden there, sir.
Okay, but agriculture, as you are aware, that it depends on vagaries of nature. It is
Yes,
highly
sir.
uncertain business or occupation compared to other businesses and profession. So you can't equate agriculture with other business and profession, right?
Yes,
So,
sir. We cannot.
would you like to revise that answer and say that agriculture should be taxed, but the exemption limit should be higher than other regular exemption limit?
Sir, I do not think so that also, sir. For example, there are some various ways of provisional taxes. For example, income can be taxed on 8% or turnover basis. So, sir, similarly, agriculture can be taxed like that also after a certain limit, because since agriculture income is fluctuating. So
No, you
whatever
didn't
the
got my point. My point was that agriculture income is highly fluctuating. So, for example, let us say you are a farmer. On one season, you got a bumper crop because of good monsoon. But during next year, there was a drought and you faced severe losses. So how would you manage that? It is very difficult. So isn't it it is advisable that exemption limit in agriculture should be higher compared to other regular limit?
No, sir, I really don't think so. There should be any difference. Sir, if there is a loss, the loss will be carried forward, and if there is a higher income, there can be some provision regarding that rationalization of tax, because sometimes there will be in 30% slab and sometimes there will be not in 30% slab. So regarding that, there can be some other provision can be incorporated. So, but the basic exemption limit, I do not think they should be tinkered with, because the limit is already very high at 5 lakh rupees, sir. So, sir, I do not think that should be tinkered.
Okay, if let us say the ball is in your court and the government has asked you that between agriculture and religious and charitable trust, what should be taxed first? What would be your take?
I think religious and charitable trust, because that the quantum of money that is routed through the trust is way larger, and because there are too many illegal incomes and other parts also there. So, sir, I think so it should be taxed first, then agricultural income.
But why government is not doing that? Despite of knowing everything that it is responsible for black money, even money laundering, then why government is not taxing trusts?
The government is taxing trust. There are some provision in section 12 of Income Tax Act which provide for the registered trust will not be taxed. But since there is not existing more scrutiny of the existing trusts which are not taxable, if they are being more scrutinized, sir, I think so, they will be under tax net, because as per the provisions, there are certain exemptions, but they are not fully exempt. So, sir, they can be taxed if more and more scrutiny and the cases are open. So, I think they can be done more effectively, sir.
Okay. Arpit, tell me, minority status has been granted to Jainism, right?
Yes,
Is it really effective?
yes, sir, it has been effective, because various educational institution has come up and health infrastructure are being developed. So, sir, from that perspective, in education sector, it has helped after gaining the minority sectors. The religious education has gone up, and Jain institution has opened up more and more, sir, especially in
But
the area of Rajasthan,
do you
Gujarat, MP.
think, Arpit, that before granting minority status, economic condition of the followers should have been the criteria?
Sir, I don't think economic status should alone be the criteria to grant the minorities.
It should
because
also be the criteria. My point was, it should also be the criteria.
yes, sir, it should be also, it should also be a criteria, but considering the there are also inequalities within the society of Jainism also. So, sir, overall, sir, there are few there, and few have something and few don't have. So, sir, I think so. Apart from that, economy, other cards should also be considered, sir.
Okay. Arpit, imagine a scenario that you are an IPS officer and you are controlling a riot and you have to fire a bullet. You have an order for that. You have to fire a bullet. You are a chartered accountant. You are religiously quite uh, non-violent person, as what I can see. So, would you fire the bullet or not?
So it will depend upon the situation. It should be a last resort option. If it is entirely out of control situation and it is a necessity, then yes, sir, I will fire. But if there are other options available, then I will exhaust them first and will not fire until and unless my other options are exhausted.
Let us say there are three individuals. One is an elderly person, one is woman, and one is a child. On whom would you fire first? And why?
Sir, ideally it should not be fired on any of them, considering this situation. And but still now, if even if there are the person who is the majorly responsible or main responsible to the culprit, it should be fired upon if every option has been exhausted and there is no other option. Then the main culprit, irrespective whether women, child, or elderly, it should be fired. But
Okay,
it is a last resort.
Even if that culprit is a child, you should fire.
Even if, so, but I'm not saying, sir, it should be fired. It is a last resort option. All the other options must be exhausted, and if there is no other choice apart from that, and it is necessary, then only, sir, yes, sir, I will say fire.
Okay. Arpit, tell me your two strengths and two weaknesses.
So, strength is one is positive thinking, and
Mhm.
second strength is courage. So weakness is sometimes I get too much excited and become too much impatient and become very fast. And second weakness is I think too much. As a result of it, I tend to micromanage things.
Okay. So, overthinking, do you think it is a good quality for a civil servant?
Not in every situation, sir. Sometimes yes, we have to treat cautiously, but sometimes we have to take a decision because sometimes situation it should based on situations, sir. So,
Okay.
sir, it will depend, sir.
Arpit, you are a chartered accountant. You are currently working in civil account service. Don't you think you are more suited there rather than in IAS or IPS? It would be injustice to your whole education, what you have gone through.
No, sir, I do not think so. So, because even in IAS, there is the finance has to be controlled for a district. When you are DM, SDM, you have to make proper allocation of the financial resources, utilize them, upload the utilization certificate, and also in IPS regarding the rises of economic offenses, my knowledge can also be useful there, sir. So recent law and order. So, sir, I can use my knowledge in each and every field where I go, and it is not that I am only restricted to the finance side. Being a chartered accountant is also more than just auditing. You have more investigative skills, you have also accounting skills, you have also management skills. So, sir, I think so, sir, all of I can be useful there also, and I can utilize my knowledge there also, sir.
But a CA is more useful in account service, or let us say IRS, revenue services, or in administrative service. What do you think? What I think is a chartered accountant is more suited in revenue services or account services rather than administrative service.
So I still feel he is suitable for an administrative service, because being in administration, you have to use not only your accounting skills, payment skills. There are all the skills you have to utilize. It is not it is more a generalized, and you have knowledge you have to utilize there, because having a budget with a particular ministry or with a DM, you have to utilize is the best, because having a prioritizing the funds, prioritizing planning, it is all part of there also. Yes, being in taxation, it seems that a CA is more restricted field, but I think so, sir, CA is a more vast field, and its knowledge can be used in administrative service also.
Okay. Thank you.
Arpit, you are presently unmarried, right?
No, sir, I recently got married. So, sorry, sir. I was unmarried till my feeling of death. I recently got married on 20th June only, sir.
Okay, congratulations, Arpit.
Thank you, sir.
Arpit, suppose, hypothetically assume that you have been invited to a marriage ceremony. And when you visit, everything seems very fine. But in between, you learn that the bride has not reached the legal age of marriage. And in Rajasthan, in some areas, this practice is still prevalent, unfortunately. And suppose you are in that marriage, and what is more specific here is that the boy to whom the girl is getting married is your cousin. How will you respond?
So I would not have approved of that also, sir. If still it is happening, then the proper action must be taken against them. There is no, because it is against the law. Because the child without not having a legal age, so police action or proper legal screen must be done, because the practice is wrong. And if even if I allow it, it is also being me part of the society, which, or me being tacitly accepting it's what is the traditions, because sometimes I have to take a hard step, because if I don't take it here, I cannot be a good example to the society at large if I take any position at an administrative position.
Arpit, maybe you did not hear the question properly. I asked that what will be your response then and there?
Sir, I should call the police, or I should take the action directly.
That will be your first response?
So first, not to the first. If my cousin marriage is there, I should say that you should not go ahead. Because sir, I wrongly interpreted that I was a part of the there. I meant to say that first, if the proposal was there, then I should have there only rejected them and asked them to reconsider the situation, and make the boy understand that this is might not right practice. Ask the parents and ask my uncle and everyone to not go ahead with the marriage. If the marriage is urgent, they can wait for till the bride reaches the legal age, and then they can go ahead with the marriage. And even if after all the things they are not there, then legal action should be taken. Apart from, because first persuasion is the key, and then after only if it is not, I am not able to persuade, then only the legal action must be taken.
Okay, Arpit, do you have a kind of biasness towards tribal areas?
As far as I know myself, I don't have.
You don't have, but your TAF speaks otherwise. Let me highlight some of the points. In Zone 2, the last state that you have given preference is Jharkhand, which is primarily tribal. In Zone 3, the last choice is Chhattisgarh, again primarily tribal. In Zone 4, it is Nagaland, which is primarily tribal. Then why should not I conclude that you have a kind of biasness towards tribal? Would you like to defend yourself, Arpit?
So first, whenever we join the service, there is the preferences are asked. The preferences are based. My preference was based, but not on the basis of the tribal area, but more on the basis of the cadre positions regarding there being, because for example in Zone 2, the first preference was my home preference of Rajasthan, as being there in Rajasthan, and the being in more proximity, being in Haryana. Sorry, so Zone 2, I'm really very sorry, was Gujarat. Is my first. Zone 2 is Gujarat, MP, Rajasthan. Sorry,
Zone 2
sir.
is Eastern Zone.
Zone 2 is Eastern Zone.
Are you talking about Zone 1?
Zone 1 is the Western Zone, sir, regarding Gujarat, Maharashtra, there. So, and in Zone 2, there is a central zone of Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan. I'm really very sorry. I got confused in the zones. I'm really very sorry, sir.
Okay,
Regarding, I would conclude. Why
that you have opted for Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and Nagaland as your last choices in their respective zones. What was the motivation behind this choice?
Sir, it was not regarding the tribal. It was more regarding that in the area of in the zone of Jharkhand, the option of Uttar Pradesh, which is having more vastly populated, and where we can, and it is more avenues for the working there directly with the association of the public is more in comparison to the Jharkhand. Therefore, the apart, and the second was the Bihar. And so, sir, considering both, I have not biased. Bihar is also having a significant population of tribal areas. So, sir, I do not think that my biasness was for the just because it is a tribal area. I don't want to go there. And also in the state of Nagaland, my first choice was Assam. Assam is also having a more of a tribal population. So, sir, there is also the West Bengal could have been my first choice if I had a significant bias against the tribal area. And also, sir, in Chhattisgarh, sir, my first preference was my Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh also housing, it is more forested and more tribal population there also, sir. So, sir, I do not think there is my systematic bias against tribal people, sir.
Arpit, which is the perennial river that is nearest to Pali?
Sir, Yamuna. Because of proximity with Chambal and Delhi.
Yamuna is that perennial river which is nearest to Pali.
Not the perennial, it's part of Chambal river, which is more having a more proximity with the Pali, because it is more or less perennial only, say Chambal, because the ravines is that part of Chambal. And the second would be the Narmada, because of
Chambal
existing
goes
canal.
through how many states?
Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, some part of Gujarat. Then it will meet. So I think 3 states: Rajasthan, Gujarat, and MP, Madhya Pradesh.
Okay. One last question, Arpit. Why you want to join the civil services? You're already into the services, but why you want to join the administrative services? Going by your preference of service list, it seems that you are more inclined towards the administrative services, be it general administration or police administration. Why you want to join the administrative services?
So because it provides more opportunity to work directly with the people and implement directly the policies of the government, and also ensure more diversities rather than being in the existing service. Sir.
Serving the people and being in touch with the people is your primary motivation. Am I right,
Yes, sir.
Arpit?
Yes, sir.
If that is the case, Arpit, then why don't you go into politics? You will be in direct touch with the people.
So because my main purpose is not to seize power. Currently my aim is to provide whatever the implementing the existing services properly and be with the people and within the existing machinery. to ensure each and every benefit directly reaches to the people. Being in politics, I can get power, but I cannot directly work on the implementation. Implementation will be done by the bureaucrats. So, sir, I want to be the person who's implementing.
I think again you misunderstood the question, Arpit. Being in politics doesn't mean you have to attain a power position. It is also not necessary that you fight elections. Political activity is a natural human activity. And there are several politicians who work on ground. And they work for no returns. They are not taking anything for the duties that they are doing. I'm talking about financial remuneration, say, for example. And if that is the case, don't you think that politics would have been a good choice for young, bright minds like you?
Sir, politics, but the purpose would be at the end of the politics would be to seize power. Apart from that, otherwise, sir, it will be more of a non-governmental organization or NGOs or trust. So, sir, I think so. Either I am misinterpreting, sir, the question, sir. I'm really very sorry, sir.
Okay. Okay, then let me put it in other words. Would you like to start an NGO someday? Because
Yes,
why I asked you politics is because if you look at the present government also, there are a lot of civil servants who have now migrated to politics. So they are somewhere dissatisfied with the scheme of things or the political setup. So I just wanted to know that whether you also have such inclinations going forward in your career or not.
I have no intention to join any political party, sir, or rather to go there. So because I'm not a person who is just bound to specific ideologies or having a political affiliation. I'd like to do work and I'm doing it. So apart from that, there are no further motivation for me to join any political parties.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Arpit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Arpit, you just answered a question wherein you said one of your strengths was courage and positive thinking, right? Give me at least 3 examples where you have displayed courage and positive thinking to sort out the issues.
Sir, recently during our probation, there was an issue in our training institute. There was some issues regarding the studies. They were studying some mass issues, and also there was some non-provision of facilities to one of our batchmates. So it was. I took the matter and I mailed to each and every authority, and I got there. There were many. Even my immediate seniors said you should not email or you should not mail there. But sir, after that I mailed. Even the situation was heard by additional CGA, and the matter was resolved afterwards. And afterwards, everyone got their problem resolved. One act was there. So in my positive thinking, the second example would be, sir, recently there was some accident in my home, and also because of there was some various issues during the COVID time. It was during my positive thinking, and it was always held and helped my family members, and due to some of my contacts and having some positive thinking, I was able to resolve the issue. And so the third example would be of my courage regarding there. Once I stood up in railway compartment, I was asked about the bribe in for my RSC. I stood up against him, and even after taking the charge, the TT allotted the seat to the person who had paid the money. But I stood up, and the TT, I ensured that I got my seat as I wanted, without any paying any bribe to the TT. So, sir, these are 3 examples that in recent time that I have shown my positive thinking and courage.
Okay, where do you derive your courage from? Where does this actually emanate from?
Sir, because I think that if I have not done anything wrong, I'm not afraid of anything. If I have done anything wrong,
Who in this case is your role model?
So my aunt, who is a monk, it has been 40 years since she is bedridden. She is suffering from each and every pain. Whenever if I see her, it is her face is always smiling. Despite all the adversity, I know she always say everything is good. So she is the person who from where I derive my power from. Because if she is facing each and every problem for last 40 years, my age is not there yet. So I don't have to be afraid of anything.
Okay, supposing if I were to ask you, do you derive any sort of courage from the existing leadership in political leadership in India as such?
So I'm not able to understand properly, sir. In what sense?
Is- Do you derive any courage? I mean, how to deal with something courageously from the existing current lot of political leadership that we have in the country? In simple terms, do you see anybody who displays courage in the political milieu of today?
So people are showing courage. There are many people who are fighting in each and every sphere. If there is some problems recently during the COVID crisis, even in our societies, defying the public or the political leader, the people are showing courage and to fight the to get their rights done. So, sir, yes, sir, people are fighting there, sir. People are showing courage.
No. Any particular political leader whom you admire for the courage that he has shown is what I wanted to know.
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall a specific political leader.
Okay, what will you prefer? Given an option, what will you prefer? An efficient but corrupt person working with you, or an honest but inefficient co-worker?
So, honest and inefficient co-worker.
And
At
why?
least I can trust him. Because at least I can trust him because I have trust in my ability. And if I am having an honest person and if I'm giving him task, maybe he may be inefficient, but I can trust him and I can know that he will get the work done slowly or by delay. But at least I can have complete trust on him for my work.
No, but what in case you know the person is efficient but is corrupt? What actions will you take to ensure that he is brought to book or he is brought to the right course of action?
So his actions can be monitored. On the daily basis, whatever he has done, whatever dealing he has done can be properly scrutinized. There can be proper check and balances, and his daily report card must be asked, and also all the financial transaction, financial recording on after account or after a period must be brought forward, so that it can be overall he can be kept into books and he can be kept accounting. He must be ensure accountability.
Yeah, but what actions will you take to ensure that his corrupt practices are checked and corrected?
So to check it, all these transactions and dealing must be scrutinized with more. With,
I'm not talking
with,
about checking in the sense that how do you check? Is how will you put an end to it?
so first would be to take the action if there is any proof against him. Then action must be taken against him. If there is no proof, then the warning must be given to him, and authorities must be used. Power must be used so as to ensure that he is kept under check, rather than giving him freeway. So, sir, by ensuring proper disciplinary action, there should be a fear must be created in the mind, fear psychosis, or fear of threat of or reinforcement theory as fear of punishment. It must be there, and proper and regular checking of his dealing must be done so as to ensure that, and if any evidence is found against him, and then the disciplinary action must be taken against him.
Okay, supposing as a district collector you get to know of a person who is carrying out an illegal business of making fake milk and fake paneer. Supposing What actions will you take in such case?
The first, the evidence must be collected, whether he is selling the fake. After the checking, testing must be done, and if all the evidence is found directly the place where it is being done, it must be seized, and all the legal charges or legal action must be initiated directly against him after completing the investigation and having all the evidences with us.
What actions will you take to ensure that this is not, supposing you're talking about a particular case, to ensure that such a thing does not happen in the future also?
So because if after an action is taken against him and very strict action is taken against him, then it will create a deterrence in the mind of the future, and also there must be some aggressive investigation must be done against all the other existing manufacturer of the milk and paneer producers, and on the regular basis they must be tested, and if any irregularities finding among the other person also, the action must be taken against them. Once the deterrence is there and proper scrutiny is done by the government officials, then it will become very easy to monitor the situation and to ensure the situation does not arise in future.
Okay. Arpit, one last question. You have links with the two states. One is Gujarat and one is Rajasthan.
Yes, sir.
Rajasthan has got a very big share in the defense. A lot of people from Rajasthan join the defense services. But from Gujarat, you find very low rate of enthusiasm to join the defense services. What is the reason behind this situation? Rajasthan and Gujarat.
So one of the reason I am aware of is regarding the history. During the British rule, the Gujarat state was considered to be a non-marital, and Rajasthan being having overall the history of being a Rajput and having more of courage and braveness. There has, because of its history, there has been more participation of people from Rajasthan in the military. But in Gujarat, after the declaration of non-marital and non-impaneled by the Britishers of the more of the Gujarati people in the military, as a result, over the period of time, there has been less enthusiasm in the people to join the military in comparison to the Rajasthan.
Yeah, but the people from Gujarat are definitely doing exceedingly well in other areas apart from defense. So, if such people join the defense, don't you think it would make a very, very positive impact on the defense also as such?
Yes, sir, it will make. But sir, because of having more avenue available in other sphere, it becomes less motivating for the people to join the military directly, because for them it is not a matter of because there is a presence of more alternatives with them. So sir, I think so that may be a reason for of them not joining directly to the military, and availability of other options. And in Rajasthan, it is more of a pride, and it is a more of historicity, and it is a matter of over a generation the people are there. So sir, from there for there, it is more of having availability of military becomes a very good option. So, sir, it is matter of choices and matter of the utility, matter of the derivation of satisfaction that the people. So, I think so that is the reason that there is a difference in views of the people of from Rajasthan and Gujarat.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Arpit, tell me, you were born in Ahmedabad or Karnavati?
Sir, both are the name of the same city only, sir. Ahmedabad or Karnavati, sir.
But what do you prefer?
Sir, Ahmedabad. Since
Why?
I have used, so because simplicity for the sake of simplicity, because I have used the name over the period of time.
What if tomorrow government changes the name to Karnavati? You'll still prefer Ahmedabad?
So it will
As
take
you
time.
said that firmness is your virtue. You said in one of your answers that you are a firm person. You do not go back on your commitments or your stands. So even if government changes the name to Karnavati, would you prefer Ahmedabad?
Sir, no, sir. At that point, yes, for my daily uses, it might be there. but over the course of the time, having the name change and daily uses change. So I think so that it is a sake of simplicity that I'm currently preferring than that, because I've used over a longer period of time. So.
Okay. Arpit, are you aware of fusion theory of management given by Bagh and how it can be used in civil services?
Yes, sir. So fusion theory by Bagh says every individual have different goals, opinions, and similarly, every organization are having different goals and opinions. There is a need for socialization and personalization of their views so as to ensure that they become proper part of the organization. So it can be used, both socialization and personalization can be used in the civil services also. For example, generally, if in the personalization is done at a higher level, so that the person is provided more of an opportunity to adjust things according to himself, and so that he can bring in more innovation. So sir, these sectors which require more innovation and that require more new thinking, so there should be more personalization, and also there where there is a more routine task is there and more procedural aspect is there, more socialization work must be done. So sir, yes sir, both of them are useful in civil services.
Okay. Arpit, one last question. Your mother tongue is Rajasthani, if I'm not wrong. Marwadi, what you call?
I will not say Marwadi, sir, because I have spoken that with only few people. Generally, sir, in my family, everyone speaks Hindi only, sir.
Okay,
but I
so
am
you
aware
prefer
of
Hindi.
Marwadi.
Let us
Yes.
say your mother tongue is Hindi. Give me a quotation in Hindi which you like the most and which describes your personality.
So, one of the poem of द चलता चल पीछे मत मुड़ कहीं, हमेशा आगे बढ़ता रहे और कभी ना पीछे देख तू. One of the poems, this is the thing that I always go ahead. बस चलते जाओ और कभी पीछे मत मुड़ो, बस चल आगे ही बढ़ते रहो and never look back in your life.
Okay, but I want you to look back in your life and tell me one grave mistake you made in your personal life, and which would you like to change if given a chance?
I wanted to do engineering. I don't want it. I shouldn't have done the chartered accountancy.
Okay, so being a CA, you think that is a mistake, and you
No,
still
that is not
you
a mistake,
still
sir.
got 39th rank.
Yes, sir. So because my inclination, as even if I see right now, it is more toward technology and less toward finance. I am very much natural in finance and technology. I can say both. It is in my blood, but still I am more of, I like technology more than finance.
Okay, thank you.
Arpit, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Before we close the interview, one
Yes,
last
sir.
question to you.
Yes, sir.
Arpit, you love puzzles.
Yes,
So
sir.
consider a situation. You have three people. One always speaks the truth. One always speaks the lie. And one sometimes the truth and other times lie. You have the opportunity to ask one question. On the basis of the answer that you get for that question from each one of them, you have to ascertain who is the truthful person, who is the liar, and who is the opportunist liar, or something like that. What will be that question? Did you understand the question, Arpit?
Yes, sir. Have you ever lied? How many times have you lied in your life? Because an honest person will say never with confidence, and being a liar, he will also say never. And if a person who is saying yes or no, if any answer changes, then obviously I will be able to ascertain whether he's an opportunist or not.
If suppose the truthful man says never, the liar also says never, and one who is sometimes truthful and more often than not a liar also says never, how are you going to find out who is the truthful man? The answers are same, never. You have to ask supplementary questions then.
Yes, sir.
I gave you the opportunity just to ask one more question. Do you want to take a second chance?
Just one question, sir?
Yes,
only
just
one. Sir, I will try once, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to get the exact question.
Okay. Thank you, Arpit. We will reconnect with you in some time for your feedback. It was nice interacting with you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Arpit?
Yes, sir.
Let me highlight the good things first. Some of your answers were brilliant, and you have handled most of the questions well, especially questions that called for some decision making, like shooting a particular person, or your cousin marriage ceremony, or choosing between an honest and inefficient man or a efficient but corrupt man. You were very clear in your head what kind of answers you are willing to make. Arpit, during the first half of your interview, it seemed that you were slightly overconfident. Slightly. But as the interview progressed, you mellowed down and there was more soberness that came with time, which was good to take note of. But dear, where you have to work, because this is a critical analysis and the ultimate idea is to sharpen your skills and to highlight your flaws so that you can improve with time. First is with respect to the hobby section. You have read intensively about Jaina text and literature. That's very good. But you must know more about meditation. That part is lacking, especially Vipassana. You were not able to answer from which branch of Buddhism it has evolved. Sankhya and Jaina, they're also like, you see that in Sankhya philosophy and in Jaina philosophy, the basic parameters, similarity, these kind of answers should be ready with you in 1 or 2 lines, not in paragraph form, because the answer was more of mains nature rather than personality test. Table tennis. First difference in the serve is in tennis you hold the ball like this and then you throw it up. But in table tennis you have to open your palm and keep the ball over this, and then you have to throw it, and the throw should be 90-degree. Whereas in tennis it is not 90-degree, not necessary. Clear? So you must know these kind of things, and otherwise this tribal biasness regarding question. See, these kind of questions are traps. The idea is to check that how is your response under stress kind of situation. So you handled that well, but initially the answers were not good for that question. But later on you realized and you made the course correction. In fact, you start speaking, Arpit, without giving a second thought most of the times. This you have accepted also, that impatient, you are a bit impatient. You started, sir, that zone 1, zone 2. It appears very informal, dear. Okay. Suppose your senior is asking you something and he is over a phone and just he has 1 minute to listen to you. And if you just cook up lines like that, he will get frustrated. Do you understand that, dear? So that's
Yes,
why you have to ensure that your best point comes up first. And one more thing, Arpit. The speed of your answers or the velocity at which you spoke was tremendous on occasions. So quick that it was very hard to keep pace with you, that what you are trying to say. You were also mugging, or you can say messing with words. There was a kind of attachment between two words in such a way that it becomes difficult to distinguish one from the other. Like one instance I can give you with respect to the different tattvas of Jainism. You just kept on speaking as if it was like you are giving some sort of pravachan. Do you understand that? So you must
Yes, sir.
speak slowly, clearly, and answers should be short and swift and targeted to the question, not here and there. Clear? And
Yes, sir.
one other thing, you wore a smile throughout. That's very good. But on several occasions, the smile was overstretched. It was not necessary because there were some serious questions. Like, do you have any biasness towards tribals? Tribals are weak and vulnerable sections of the society. And you must have compassion, empathy. You understand that? So you cannot, at that time, you cannot portray exuberant smiling face over your countenance. That's not appreciable. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So that's what you need to understand. Otherwise, Arpit, it was a wonderful interview. You answered most of the questions very well. That's my
Thank you,
feedback.
sir.
Arpit, to add on to what was said, I think most of it has been very correctly brought out. To begin with, you sounded very confident. Rather, I would say overconfident. There was probably a tinge of overconfidence which bordered on I would say what can I call it, anything beyond overconfidence. It felt it a little awkward. So
Okay, sir.
if you temper that confidence down in the beginning, your smile was missing in the beginning. That is what added to it. If that smile would have been there, probably it would have given a better confidence as such. You had good knowledge of the Jaini literature. Meditation also, you had a fair idea, but somewhere I think you missed out. But some of the answers were excellent. But what I felt was in the beginning you were overconfident. You also seemed to be stressed at the same time. I don't know why. It's a very peculiar situation. You are overconfident also and stressed also. But then
So
you gave that sort
because
of yeah.
no, sir, because it is my first interview after 1 month. Because in last 1 month there was all the marriage stuff going on, and currently this was my first interview after so long. So, sir, there was some both. I know, and whether I'm speaking right or wrong, there was both going in my head right now, sir.
Yeah, quite possible, yes. So, nevertheless, the interview overall went very well. And as far as your tone is concerned, I will request you to slightly slow down, little bit. If you slow down a little bit, what will happen is, in this particular case, sometimes you were very very fast. When I asked you the question about the canons of Jaini literature, you rattled off as if you are reading from a newspaper. Even before I could get anything, you had finished the whole thing. So the answer was too long for a question like that. Instead of giving a complete explanation, I just asked you what are the canons. So even if you had just said this, that's all. Those 6 points rather, would have been completely justified. You started explaining that. I never asked you for explanation about that. So listen to the question. 2-3 times you have to be checked. No, this is not what was asked. So listen to the question first, fully, take a second, and then start answering. That probably is going to be the clue to success, definitely. And in any case, the overall performance, very good. Very bright chances.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, dear.
Arpit, so as highlighted, good points first, and in your interview, most of the things were good. Your smile was infectious. Your answers were excellent. You handled multiple questions which were thrown at you for prepping you very well, such as you are a CA and you should go for civil accounts, and you handle that question very well. Those type of questions. But at multiple places, I found that your impatience was very highly visible. Even if you are impatient and that is your weakness, you should try to control it. ठीक है? और impatience visible कैसे होता है? एक तो आपकी स्पीड में, आप जिस स्पीड से बोलते हो, that is the sign of your impatience. Okay, so lower down that speed so that the other person who is asking that question, he can get your answer properly. Okay, don't jump on to give answers. At multiple places you were jumping. I don't know, you were well prepared with the answers or your nature is like that. You were not giving it a thought before answering, and while answering you were thinking simultaneously, or rather you were murmuring that yes, ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है. आपको पहले सोचना है, then आंसर देना है. ठीक है?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why a CA should be chosen as an administrative service officer or as an IPS officer, that answer was bit chaotic. You know that answer, but आपकी जो स्पीड है और उसकी वजह से वो आंसर जो है वो chaotic हो जाता है, बिकॉज उसमें वर्ड्स रिपीट होते हैं, सेंटेंसेस में आप कुछ वर्ड खा जाते हैं या आधे अधूरे वर्ड्स हो जाते हैं. सो आप जितना स्लो बोलेंगे ना, उतना ही आपका जो आंसर है वो क्लियरली सामने वाले के माइंड में पहुंच सकेगा. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
एंड डोंट गिव लॉन्ग आंसर्स, बी शॉर्ट एंड क्रिस्प. ओके.
Yes, sir.
और द अदर थिंग इज, आई डोंट नो आप स्ट्रेस हो गए थे लास्ट में इसीलिए या फिर कुछ और इशू था. When Gujarat and Rajasthan question was asked by Rakesh sir that why Gujarat people are less into defense services, you said that Gujarat was considered during British times non-marital. It is non-martial. You wanted to say that. You said marital.
Sorry, sir.
Okay? ये ऐसी चीजें पकड़ ली जाती है, and it is a sign of stress or you are not thinking before speaking. Okay, so be clear with that. Otherwise, your performance is very good. Arpit.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Arpit, before I
Yes,
come to the marks, let me highlight two more things. First, with respect to the question which I asked you, Chambal, it was actually a supplementary question which was drawn from your answer. The Chambal flows through how many states? And this is how you answer. Madhya Pradesh,
Yes, sir.
Rajasthan,
Got it.
Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat.
Okay.
This is like how you talk with your friends over a cup of tea.
Informalities there, sir.
Yes, a lot of informality. And second question was with respect to politics. You said, sir, politics is after all looking for power or gaining power. That's a subjective interpretation, friend. Mahatma Gandhi spent his whole life in politics or not? Which power
Yes.
position did he hold? So it was
Nothing.
not a universally correct statement. You
Okay,
get
sir.
that? So if suppose such kind of questions are asked to you, that Arpit, why civil services, why not an NGO or politics? You can say a simple answer, sir, I feel I will be more happy in civil services. That's the reality as well, because that's your dream. So
Yes, sir.
nobody can question your happiness. Or sir, I feel I'm more suitable or best fitted for civil services. ऐसे टाइप का आंसर करो. Arpit, based on today's performance and considering the shortcomings which we have highlighted, it is not a judgment of your potential, dear. It is
No issues, sir.
today's performance. On the basis of today's performance, we feel that if you give an interview of this kind, you will end up somewhere in the region of 177. 177. Clear? What was your marks last time, Arpit?
182.
So you can understand it's plus minus 5. Clear? So there needs to be a lot of improvement from here. Arpit.
Yes, sir.
When is your interview scheduled?
Sir, 18th August.
So you have ample amount of time when counted from today. So
Sir, what was the answer of the puzzle?
I knew that you will ask this question, and I would suggest you to find the answer yourself. Why?
Okay.
Because it will not destroy your hobby.
Okay, sir.
Clear? So it will add
Yes,
to
sir.
your personality. Try to find it out. But I can give you a hint. The
Yes, sir.
answer there, the question is such that there cannot be one answer for it. Then only you can, like what you said, that there can be the same answer given by everyone, but everyone cannot give the same answer. That's the idea. You should focus on the answer. You started focusing on the question. That's where you went wrong. Clear? Okay, Arpit.
Yes, sir.
Any
Thank you,
more
sir.
specific question?
No, sir.
Oh, thank you. All the best, dear.
Thank
All
you,
the best.
sir.